Good morning. Good morning. Hey, good morning, Marceli. Good morning, people online. We have 24 people here. Regina, Tati, Mari, Vitória, Jéssica, Natália, Jaime, Paulo. So hello, everyone. How are you
Hello,
doing
good
today?
morning.
Good morning. Thank you. Are you okay? Yes? Good. Very good. Nice. Are you? We are a little cold here. Yeah, because the air conditioning is too cold, but yes, it's better than outside. It's better than outside. Um, guys, online, I will really need your help today during the session. Okay, so we have some activities to do. Really need your participation, so I will need you to comment. I will need to speak, so please feel free. Okay, it's not because we have the girls here that you don't need to participate. So let's start. Good. We are going to talk today about patterns of interaction. Okay. What can you tell me about that? Do you know what patterns of interaction means? What is the idea behind? What can you say about it? Girls, guys online, please. No ideas?
Is it the interaction between teacher, student, student, student,
Mm,
students, teachers? Is that
okay.
it?
Who said that?
Jessica.
Jessica. Thank you very much, Jessica. That's it. That's it. She said that it's the interaction between teachers, students, students, students. Okay, so basically that's it. Patterns of interaction is when we are talking about the ways we can interact with students and students can interact with us and they can interact between themselves. Okay? Good. The definition we had. So we are going to have an activity, okay? And I want you to prepare something. Guys online, you are going to have to help us, okay? Good. Do you know where this page comes from? You know which material? People online? Someone said,
Fifth
Natalia
grade.
said, yes, UK 5. Okay, so you are in UK 5 lesson? Or maybe it's too much? Yes, that's it. It's the 5th grade. Okay, so UK 5, unit 4, lesson 1. Okay? What kind of activity is this? Is it a reading activity, a listening one? Marceli, please.
It's a speaking activity about do, like, and food.
Okay, people online, speaking everyone, good. That's it. It's written there, right? So it's a speaking activity. What is going to work now? What is going to happen? Marceli and Renata, here presentially, they are going to work individually. For what? They have to plan how to give the activity we have in the picture. For you, I have the book. Okay? So you have to think about how to present this activity to a group of 10-year-old students. And you have to think about. You are going to work separately, okay? Renata, you think of your activities. Marceli, you think of yours. and you have to think about, I'm so sorry about the online people, forget it, okay? We needed to invert the things. So Marceline and Renata, you are going to think about a pre-speaking task, okay? So what do you understand by a pre-speaking task? Guys online, you can contribute.
Pre-speaking task is something before the speaking task, Percy, just to prepare them to the speaking task.
Anyone else? Warm-up activity, Regina said. Okay. Tati, okay, follow, okay. Paulo said a warm-up to review vocab. Okay, so we have some possibilities. We can contextualize what we are talking about. We can have a warm-up. There are lots of things we can do. So you are going to think about the pre-speaking task. I-speaking task itself. A post-speaking task, okay? What can we do in a post-speaking task? Any ideas? A writing task, Paulo said. It could be anything else. We can ask students to reflect on the activity. Sorry?
Maybe a conversation with the students about what they understood, what the difficulties that they find.
Maybe teach them a song about food so it can be fun and they can also memorize the words.
Okay, thank you, Renata. Thank you, Marceli. I think, Marceli, that your idea could be better as a pre-speaking task. Okay, maybe to prepare them to review the vocabulary they are going to use. But what Renata said goes along with a post-speaking task. So reflect on what they did, how was the task for them, if they felt some difficulty in doing the task. Let me see here. Isadora said, check what the students understand. That's it. And Natalia, as a pre-speaking, Natalia also suggested review the food vocabulary. Okay, good. So you understand what you have to do, right? And then after, you have to prepare a feedback moment. So how can you give feedback to students? What kind of feedback could you give? Okay, so that's what you have to do. Don't start, please. Okay, let me explain the activity to people online and then we start together. People online. Tamara is going to do us a huge favor and organize you in pairs. Some of you will be organized in pairs and some of you will be organized in groups. The pair. You need to organize yourselves. One person needs to be responsible for a pre-speaking activity and the task, the speaking task itself. And the other person needs to be responsible for the post-speaking and the feedback moment. In this case, you are going to be together in the breakout room. You are going to talk. You have to share your ideas because it's necessary to have a sequence, a right pace for the tasks and etc. But one of you is going to be responsible for a part, the other one is going to be responsible for the other part. And the ones who will be separated in groups, we are going to try to have a groups of 4. I don't know if it's going to be possible, okay? Maybe a trio. So in the trio, you have to decide who is going to be responsible for what. But in groups of 4, you have to decide who is responsible for the pre-speaking task, who is responsible for the task itself, who is responsible for the post-speaking and the feedback moment. And then you discuss what you can do and prepare the activities. Okay? We're going to have 15 minutes to do that. So I will wait for Tamara to organize the rooms. When the rooms are organized, she's going to open the rooms, and then we are going to start counting the 15 minutes. Okay? So let's go. Guys, if you have any questions, you can talk to Tamara. Coming back. So we are going to share all our ideas, okay? The girls here, Renata and Marceli, they are going to start sharing theirs. While they do that and you pay attention to what they say, I'm going to ask you to, if you feel more comfortable, to share something in the comments, what you prepared. If you prefer, when they finished, you can speak to us, okay? Yes, 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 yes. Good. So, girls, can you start?
Well, I follow your advice about the pre-speaking task. So I would probably start with a song, teaching food vocabulary and also likes and dislikes. Speaking task, it's already on the book, so they in pairs they would ask and answer each other questions about their likes and dislikes about food. And post speaking task, I put a listen activity. So some kids saying what they like, what they dislike, and then the feedback moment. Ah, well, during the speaking task, I would like walk on the classroom and listening to what were they producing and maybe give them some help and then writing the questions that are difficult and then in the feedback moment I would like ask them what was the most difficult part, what they think that they need to improve, the vocabulary or the likes and dislikes, just to see if they are already aware. And then after this, after asking them, I would telling them my thoughts about about the aspects of the about about their difficulties.
I already prepared a class like this, so I base it on this, and I wrote them on my cell phone. Pre-text task. I will prepare a song about foods. I like your idea, and ask students if they know these fruits. Sorry. And to the task, I will give the exercise, of course, but I'll give a personal example before to um, make they feel more confident with the exercise. To the post-speaking task I prepare, I organize an exercise on the board separating the foods in healthy and unhealthy, or sweets, drinks, and fruits, or breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And this last one is personal, so they could prepare on the notebook. And to the feedback I prepare, I would correct the exercise on the board together with the students. And after class, maybe next class, and to engage the students, I would prepare a picnic. And after all, we can talk about what they like and what they dislike. All of this.
Okay, I liked your ideas. The picnic can be like an extension to the feedback. Yes, you did it.
the the students, they were very engaged because they could prepare something in their houses and or buy fruits with their parents. And the feedback from the parents was very good because they told the students were talking about the foods and the name of the foods.
Wonderful, girls. Good. We had some good ideas. People online, would you like to share something speaking, or you just posted something here in the comments? Is there anyone who would like to speak? I would like to hear your voices.
Hi,
Yeah.
I can say a little.
Okay, who is
Is that
speaking?
okay?
Sorry.
Natalia.
Natalia. Okay, please share, Natalia.
So we were talking, we didn't actually divide who did what. We brainstormed and kind of decided everything together. It was very nice. We had many, many ideas. I teach a class with UK5, so I thought it would be nice to use the memory game in the activity before to do the pre-speaking task. And Jessica was with me, and she suggested that we have the kids divide the food in categories like what's dessert, what's hot meals, what's beverages. And that would also be nice. Her idea also would be nice to pay attention and write down possible mistakes in pronunciation. So before they start the actual speaking activity, we could recast with everybody and make sure that when they are doing the speaking activity, they're gonna have proper, yeah, they're gonna say it properly. For the speaking activity, we thought that it would be nice to have them in pairs. And what I do when I do this activity is that I use the chunks that are above there, and I have one interview the other and circle. If they do, if they like it, we circle. They circle it. If they don't like it, they don't circle it, and they take turns. There was the task itself, and we also discussed about doing feedback throughout the activity, not only the final feedback. I think those were the main points that we discussed.
Okay, good points. Thank you, Natalia.
And,
I
I
who,
was with
who
Natalia.
okay,
And
Jessica.
one thing that we also talked about that I would like to even like we thought it was a very nice idea, but you know the post activity, instead of just using the uh instead of using do you like, yes I do, no I don't, and I like, I don't like in the same activity, we would use for the actual speaking task, do you like, yes I do, no I don't, and then for the post speaking activity, we would ask to share with the group, but like you get your partner's book because they have your answers, and you would be like, I don't like iced tea, I like orange juice, water, soda, and then after they all finish sharing, we would ask them the activity, how they felt about the activity and everything, and then the feedback, as she said.
Okay, okay, good. Anyone else would like to share some of the other groups or the trios, the pairs? Because the girls, Jessica and Natalia, know that they were in a group. Some of the pairs would like to share.
Hello.
Hello, Isadora.
So my group was kind of really close to the other group who said right now. In the pre-speaking, we thought about a memory game, but doing this with the flashcards, showing them like what fruit is it, what food is, and ask them to answer the questions. And then in the speaking, we are going to do the activity itself, like they're going to stand up and ask the classmates, like, do you like questions? And we are going to explain to them what do they have to do using the letter A as an example. So we are going to ask them to ask questions for us. So, like, teacher, do you like apple? Yes, I do. No, I don't. And they are going to practice the first part with us, and then they are going to do it together, like to the letter B to letter E. And then in the post speaking, we are going to check what students understand about if they have questions about the foods, if they know all of them. And about the feedback, we're going to talk to them. And I guess it's kind of the same if my group wants to say something, but it's kind of the same of the post speaking, like checking what they understand. And if they have questions, answer the question they asked us. But I guess that's it we talked about.
Okay, Isa, thank you very much for sharing. Good ideas as well. Anyone else? No? No one else? Good. you had some interesting ideas about the activities. We had different moments for different ideas for feedback. We had different ideas for the pre-task activity. The post-speaking activity or the post-task activity, we can do something like putting it together with the feedback moment. Yes, it can be something really to reflect upon the activity, what the students thought, so it can be just one moment. But, of course, as the topic of the session, the main idea of this practice was not to see what you could prepare, but how you worked in the patterns of interaction you were. Okay? So something interesting that Natalia mentioned is that they didn't follow the instructions and decided who should prepare each part of the activity, but they decided to do it together. Okay, so later on we are going to see how this can be tricky in the classroom when we assign students to group activities. So very quickly, let's just, okay. Let's reflect a little bit. How was the activity? Could you get interesting, engaging ideas? So I want to know about the different patterns of interactions because we had individual people working, we had people in groups and people in pairs. So how was it working this kind of in this pattern of interaction? Was it good? Do you think that the ideas you got were interesting? Who would like to share? Cassia said that they did the same in the group. Okay. So how was it? How did you feel?
Sharing the ideas was really nice. Sharing the ideas was really nice. We came up with different things.
Okay, Nachi. Okay, good. And did you feel comfortable working in the pattern of interaction that you were, or would you like to have something different? Those who were in groups or pairs would like to be individually. Girls, would you like to be in groups?
I enjoyed sharing with my colleagues at the group because it was a new material for me. And I think maybe if we did like every one of us did a part of it, it would end up like a Frankenstein. And I don't know if we would have time to try to collect our ideas together to make it make sense. So that's why I was like, let's do it together. And also, like, I think it was Natalia who said it that we had different ideas and we like mixed them together and it was nice.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much, Jessica. Renata, just let me just read it here because Cassia said that it was okay. We always learn more in groups, I believe, right, Cassia? Good. Let's see what Renata has to say.
I agree with Cassia, and I would like to say this because um, we we will teach to different ages, but we always can complete our ideas. And for example, I can follow maybe some idea that someone gave to me now in my classroom, and my idea could be how can I say eficaz, could be better, yes, yes, in their class. So I think it's this work in pairs, in group. I think it's always better.
Good. Anyone else? No? Nice. Something else I want us to reflect on. Was time enough to finish the activity? Because I have to say that the girls here, individually, they finished the activity pretty fast. I think that in 5, 7 minutes, the activity was done. What can you tell me, people in pairs and groups? Did you have the same? Did you need the same time to finish? Or did you finish? Was it necessary to have more time? What can you say? Regina said that the time was enough. Okay. Regina, were you in pairs, trio, or group? And I think that Jessica wants to speak. Jessica, you can speak.
I was just gonna say that I think we kind of like we needed a little bit more time, but I think it was because we didn't have the page. So that took us a while to find ourselves. Natalia tried to explain because she had the book, but I couldn't visualize it. So, but I think it was like maybe we almost had it.
Okay, okay. And Cassia told me that they were in a group of 4. Cassia said that she would like to have more time, but it was okay. Regina agreed with Jessica. Good, good. And, well, the patterns of interaction that we used were pretty clear, right? We had individual or solo work with the girls here presentially, and then we had online pair work and group work. Good. Any questions so far? People? Nope. Nope. Thank you very much, CCDA teachers. I don't know your names exactly, but thank you very much. Good. So I'm going to put you in people online in groups again, okay? But now it's going to be probably groups of 4 or trios. Girls, we are going to work together here because what I want us to do, I want us to analyze each pattern of interaction that we have. So, I want to discuss about solo work, pair work, and group work. And when you discuss and make notes, I want you to think about time for the task. So, the time for the task, is it has to be longer if we are working individually or if we are working in groups? Does it have to be different according to the pattern of interaction that we are dealing with? Okay. What are the perks of this kind of interaction? So what are the advantages of this kind of interaction, of solo, of pair work, of group work? What are the downsides of the interaction? Okay, for each of them, make a list. And finally, how applicable to your context, to your schools it is. Because sometimes when we observe classes, and this is why we have this session today, we see that most of schools, most of teachers like to work with students individually. Sometimes, very rarely, not even sometimes, very rarely they put the students in pairs, but that's it. We don't have different patterns of interaction. So how applicable it is to your reality, okay? So, can you please put the guys in breakout rooms? If you need, you can take a picture of the screen or a screenshot, okay? And girls, you can discuss. 10 minutes, okay, guys? So, guys, very quickly, I would like you to share what you got, what you discussed, and the notes you made about that, okay? People online, again, you can start chatting in the comments and then we read your contributions, or you can wait for some minutes and then you talk to us, okay? I will start with the girls here.
The first one is time for task. In the solo work, we decided that they don't need uh, very much time because it's only one person thinking, and this one can organize her or his ideas better. In pair or group needs to be more time because it's a discussion with more than one person. So they can put their ideas and decide it, and they need time to make this.
The second one, let it be. let me see. Let me see. The perks, the advantage. Ah, yeah. Pair work, group work, the advantage is because they can listen to each other's ideas, so they can improve the work. And of solo work, I think the person can be more confident sometimes because the person sometimes is a little bit shy to expose his or her ideas, a little bit insecure. So the person can have their own time to 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 do what he or she wants. And also the person can be, I think it can the decision aspect and also the organizational aspect can be explored in the solo work. And the downsides of this kind of interaction, yeah, so as I was talking before about the person being insecure or shy in a pair work or in a group work, sometimes we don't listen to everyone's ideas and we don't take into account everyone's ideas. So this is a downside. And a person also, if the person is insecure and the person is shy, he or she can have a very good idea, but it to be not exposed. This is a downside. And the solo work, the downside is because, yeah, the person is buying himself or herself. So he or she has an idea. He could make it better. He could have more ideas, but he or she doesn't have this moment, this space to listen other people's ideas. So yeah, there is no space for improvement.
And the applicability and in the context. On the solo work, what we thought about the solo work, I forgot. It's okay. I will begin with the pair and group. Pair and group. I gave an example of a class of mine and two students, and one student that have many difficulties, and one that don't have any difficulties, and it's a high level student, and they can sit together or make a group with this two kind of students because they can share the things that they learned and they can do that exercise or that project together. I think it's this.
The applicability of solo work, it's because when you are doing an activity by yourself, you can see your strengths and your weakness. So yeah, you can notice this and improve this part.
Okay, girls, thank you very much. You brought some good points, some good aspects about everything. And Monique wrote here in the chat about the time. It depends on the class. If you have many students, it's necessary more time, maybe 7 minutes. The perks, they can share their ideas, they can help each other, they can produce more, especially if they are in pairs. The focus is better. The downsides, they feel more passionate. Maybe they feel embarrassed. And about the applicability, usually it works. Is there anyone else who would like to add anything from the online? Click, click. No one? Okay. So, guys, something that I want you to keep in mind is that we can and we have to use each one of these patterns of interaction with our students in our classes, no matter what. We need to find the time, we need to find the moment, and it comes in preparation. When we prepare our lessons, we can organize everything in a way that we can insert each pattern of interaction. It's important to work with all of them. So if you have a group work, you want to do group work, sometimes, especially in the context of regular schools, we may need more time. to organize students, to make them form the pairs and etc., the groups and etc. So you may need a class for that, and there is no problem. Plan the lesson, plan the unit, and then you can find the time to include it there. Some of the aspects you mentioned, we are going to see them again, and I hope I can bring something more. Let me just, okay. So for individual solo work, students will obviously work individually, right? The perks, students work in their own speed. Okay, so they have the moment, as the girls mentioned here, to think individually, to organize their ideas. They have time to process language and information, which in some cases is important. Can have a break from continuous group work, and it fosters autonomy, right? This is something that we encourage, autonomy. So they have a moment to decide by themselves what they have to do and how they have to do. The downsides, there isn't much communication, and we are teaching English. It's a language, so they need to communicate. And much exposure to different ideas. I think that Marceli mentioned this here. Students, they don't see other perspectives, different contexts. So it's important to work in different patterns of interaction. The possible usage, writing. Okay, so for a writing task, it's better to do it individually. Some reading activities, especially for the most complex texts. Extra grammar and vocabulary practice. So for some exercises, especially the longer ones, the ones they have to think more, to organize their ideas, to check what they know and what they don't know, this could be a good pattern of interaction. If you have any questions, please post something, okay, or raise your hand, whatever, interrupt me. Going to the pair work. So students work in pairs, and the perks are, it fosters cooperative work. So this is something, especially nowadays, we've been facing some difficulties in organizing students to work with other people. They want to do the work individually. And some teachers, they don't want to have the time to organize students together. So we are encourage them to work with other people, and in life, in the future, they are going to need to work with other people. I've heard once from a student that was in college, in the previous, in a school that I worked for some time ago, and he said that most of students in college didn't know how to work in group because the schools where they studied before didn't encourage that. And when you go to college, this is something you have to do. And after, in your professional life, you need to work with other people. Students actively communicate. So this is a moment for them to communicate. And as they are in pairs, the chances of both of them speaking a lot is bigger. It helps students develop confidence in a less stressing atmosphere. So speaking only in pairs is not so stressing as speaking in front of the whole group or maybe in a bigger group. It promotes discussion and builds collaboration skills. The downsides. Students may not like their pairs, as the girls mentioned here, and I believe that some of you have thought about it. Maybe one student doesn't like the other, but again, this is life. We are going to face a moment or another in which we are working or we are studying with someone that we don't like, and we are going to need to talk to this person. We will have to collaborate with them. So it's our role to help students see that. One student can speak or do more than the other. This is something that we need to monitor, we need to pay attention, and if there is one of them doing more, we need to balance things, help them balancing the activities. If the focus of the activity is communication, it's necessary to provide language for the task. So this is something that Jackson mentioned yesterday. Sometimes we put students in groups or pairs and we say, talk. But sometimes they are not prepared for the discussion. They don't have the vocabulary. They don't have the structures to talk about. So we can help them by giving language for the task they are doing. And then they know how to start. They know what to do, okay? And the possible usage, story creation, so they can come up with stories together, role play, and research. The group work, students work in groups of 3, 4, 5, whatever it's necessary. The perks, it gives the students the opportunity to work with different students, which is good. It fosters cooperative work. It helps students gradually develop their self-confidence and builds collaboration skills. So the same things are pretty similar to what we have in pairs. It works for groups. The downsides, again, students may not like their peers' life. One student can dominate the communication, okay? And at this moment, I want to mention what Natalia said, and I think that Cassia said, that in their groups, they decided to not follow the instructions. So when we give a task that has to be done in groups, we need to assign roles for the students. Why? Because otherwise we can have exactly this. One student dominating the task and someone else not doing anything. So we need to say what they have to do, and we need to monitor what they have to do. We, as teachers, we are not going to do that. Especially in our discussions, we want to collaborate. We know the importance of that. But students, especially teenagers, they may not know or they don't want to do. Especially if they are with peers or people they don't like so much. Okay, so try to assign specific roles for all of them. If the focus of the activity is communication, again, we need to provide language for the task. Teacher has to ensure everybody works, and sometimes, depending on the activity, it can be disruptive. So they make a lot of noise, they are sitting together, they don't want to focus on the activity. So the more you know what you want them to do, what the outcomes of the task are, the better you can help them focusing on the task and not start talking or doing about something else. And the possible usage, again, story creation, role play, games, practice conversation. Okay? So far, so good? Cassia, you're welcome, okay, for the feedback. And then we have another possible pattern of interaction, which is teacher with the whole group. It's used when the teacher is interacting with all students at the same time. So sometimes when we are explaining something, we are telling a story, we are asking questions, eliciting from them. The perks, it can create a dynamic and motivating moment. It can build a sense of belonging, and it removes the students from the spotlight. So in this moment, who is speaking? The teacher. So they don't need to feel pressure to speak to individually, because everybody is going to answer whatever the teacher is asking for. And they can feel that they belong to the group. It's not one person alone. The teacher is not talking to one student individually. It's talking to everybody. The downsides, it's difficult to focus on individual students, and it can also be disruptive. So I cannot listen to everyone speaking at the same time to pay attention if there is a pronunciation mistake or a grammar mistake. And this can be bad. So I need them to work individually or maybe in groups, pairs, to pay more attention to these aspects. and possible usage, as I said, to present information. Sorry for the mistake of presente, Portuguese was there, and for controlled practice as drilling. Okay? Guys, any questions? People online, I know that you are hungry. We are almost, it's lunchtime, in fact, already. So would you like to add anything? To ask anything? No? So just to end, what can you take from this session? Share with us. Here, please, people online. Marceli, is there anything that you are going to take from the session?
The importance of working with different patterns of interaction. So, yeah, always bring something different. Always bring different activities to work with the different aspects of solo work, pair work, group work. And yeah, there are some, and all of them has some problems or strengths. So that's why it's also important to work with all of them. And yeah, that's it.
Good, thank you, Marceli. And guys, that's why we are here, the consultants, so you can always talk to us, ask us for directions, for ideas, and we help you. But remember, varying the pattern of interaction is important. Don't let your students always working individually or as a whole group. Help them to develop other abilities, help them to develop confidence, collaborative work, and etc. Okay? Is there anything else you would like to add, people online? I think everybody's already having lunch. Yes. Uh, so, guys, thank you very much for participating. I hope you have a good lunch. And I see you again at 1 o'clock.